Today we will continue with the core data tutorial by adding the GUI elements to the content view. The elements that we will be adding includes a search box to enable users to perform their searches, and a list to display the results from the search and to filter the results of the search, and also an add button will be included as well to enable the user to add a new a new contact to their database. Within your content view, add the following after line 10. At environment, open bracket, backslash, manage object context, private bar view context. Environment was spelled incorrectly, so just update it. The E should be there. So the purpose of line 11 is to manage the object context, and the purpose of that is to enable read and writes and deletes so that the application can delete records from the core data table and update records and retrieve records. Next thing we need to do is to create a state object. At state object, private var view model contact view model. And then we need to create a state variable at state private var search text. And the search text variable is used for the search box when filtering the list of contacts. At state private var is record not found equals to false, and the purpose of that variable, if the record isn't found, then it will display an alert or another view so that the user knows that the record isn't in the database. Next thing we need to create is an initializer. Let context equals persistent controller dot shared dot container dot view context. And what that line does on line 21, it gets the shared core data contents from the persistence controller. And then the next thing we need to do is to initialize the contact view model. So we just type in the following: view model equals state, object, that value, contact, view model, open bracket, context, context. So we pass the context to the contact view model constructor, and then the return value will then initialize the view model, which is this view model here. Now I'll just compile it just to make sure that it's correct. Still compiling. Compile. On line 27, add the following, delete the text field, the text, and then add the following, navigation view, vstat, text field, search, contacts, text, $, search, search text. And then we need to just add some padding so it looks a bit neater. Background. So what we're going to do now is add, we're going to make sure that the text field has rounded corners, so it's all curvy. Rounded rectangle. Corner radius. Well, it should be corner radius. Corner radius. 10. Dot fill. Open bracket. Color. Gray. Dot opacity. 0.2. And then next thing we need to do is add horizontal padding. 10. And then add a foreground color. Dot foreground color. Dot primary. Dot font. Dot headline. Now let's run it. We should see the search contacts text field on the screen. Yeah, that's right. See if we can type in there. Let's code is a bit slow, but we can type in there. And the next thing we need to do is to add our list GUI element. So just type in list, let filtered contacts equals view model dot contacts dot filter contact in. So we add that to the closure. And then we need to type in search text dot is empty or contact dot name question mark dot lower case. It should be lowercase lowercase. No, it should be localized name question mark dot localized case insensitive contains search text, or if it's not found, just return false. Line 39, what that does, it just enables the user to pass their search criteria to the localization, to the localized insensitive contains method of the string object, which is the name. And then if the two values are the same, it will then return true. So even if the two values are, like one is lowercase and one is uppercase, it will return true. That's why we're using the keyword localized case insensitive contains. So it will return true, that is found. And the next thing we need to do is if it's not found, so if it returns false, then this will happen. If filtered contacts is empty, so we need to create a not found view. So we'll do this first, just type in the slashes and type in not found view. That's the view we need to create for the not found record. And then what we need to do is if it is found, the contact that you're searching for within the list, It will execute this line for each filtered contacts ID cell contacts in add a navigation link navigation link destination destination we need to create a contact detailed view. So let's do that now. Create a contact detail view, which is a Swift UI view. Select Swift UI, and then add the name of the view, contact detail. And then within that view, we need to create a variable, which is contact, an object variable, contact, and then we have to go back to the content view, and then within the content view, we need to add the following, which is contact detail, open bracket, contact, contact. We'll compile it just to make sure it's correct. It's compiling, it's nearly compiled. Oh, there's a mistake, so what is that? Oh, we can delete our previews because we're not using them. It's compiling at the moment. Yeah, now it's compiled. So the next thing we need to do is to add a HStack, image, system, name, person dot circle dot fill. So that will just display an image on the left hand side. Dot resizable. Dot frame. Width 30. Height 30. So we're just setting the image height and width. Dot foreground color. Dot blue. Dot padding. Dot trailing 10. And the purpose of that line 55, is to add some space between the image and the text. Text contact dot name. If there's no value, if it's nil, just put 2 commas. Put a space there. And then if you want to delete or contact from the database using a list, then you just need to add the following: dot on delete, and then add delete contacts. We also need to import core data as well. Forgotten to do that. Import core data. Next thing we need to do is add the delete contacts function. So we will add that now. You can add that after line 67. Private function delete contacts at offsets index sets. For index in offset, let contact equals view model dot contains contacts index. So it's looping through each element of the array and then getting the contact, and then we will pass the contact to the delete contact method of the view model. Delete contacts contact. The next thing we need to do now is after line 64, add the following: navigation link, navigation link, destination. We need to add another Swift UI view, and this one will be called add contact view. So let's create that one now. New file, Swift UI file, the name of the file is add contact view. Click on create, and then on line 11 add the following, or anywhere after line 10 add the following: at observe